Daley, thank you for joining me again, once again here at Rathbone Boxing Club, Central London, I think we can call it. And there's been a lot going on with you this year, so second or third time on Seconds Out. How are you at the moment?
Yeah, I'm good. Just focus on the preparations and a lot of things are happening next month. So
yeah, what preparations? Because I've just heard George Mitchell's going to be on the Sky Boxer show, which is a big one in Wembley. Obviously, Deji, your fighter's fighting Mayweather. You got King Kenny, who's doing well in the ICB and influencer boxing world as well.
Yes, So it's going to be a crazy month. Flying to Dubai, we go there like a week before the fight, and then after the fight, the very next day, I've got to fly straight to Texas for Kenny's fight, and that would be like a 19-hour trip. And then after Kenny's fight, a week later, George is fighting Alexandra Palace.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Alexandra Palace
on Boxer. So yeah, it's going to be a crazy month.
How was Las Vegas for the Deji versus Mayweather press conference then? Because you've obviously trained Deji for around, well, it was at the start of this year before the Wasabi fight, not too long before that, but going to Vegas as a boxing trainer, how was that? And obviously for a momentous occasion, I guess in a strange way in the influencer boxing world.
Yeah, strange, crazy, but it's Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd Mayweather is one of my inspirations. I've watched him for many years, nearly every one of his fights. I like what he does, not only inside the boxing ring, but what he does as a businessman outside the ring. So a lot of fighters could take note of how he went about business to get him to get to where he got to. But it's crazy when you're building up to meet one of your idols, inspirations in boxing. You know, when it finally happened, I was like, oh, he's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Chilled. You know what I mean? Didn't seem arrogant or anything like that. But after the press conference, what I took in from Vegas is just networking, man. Sitting back at the gyms, watching fighters train in the Mayweather gym, soaking up the atmosphere, basing ourselves at top rank boxing, getting some contacts there. The manager of what's his name? You know, Muhammad Ali's Nico. Nico Ali Walsh.
Yes.
Branson. Talking to him, getting his contact number. Yeah, so that's what I took out of the Las Vegas trip, because I'm a coach, right? So I feel like I'm in my element when I'm connecting with other coaches, managers, promoters, and just being in that boxing environment in the gym.
How did this come about? Because he's been fighting guys that aren't boxers. He's fought Conor McGregor. That was like the start of this new era for Floyd Mayweather. He's in exhibition fights, but why do you think he chose Deji, and how did you actually first hear about this as a team?
Well, I think it's Ryan Taylor, actually, that hooked us up with that. And then it went from there. There's some good people behind global titans. So they've actually got loads of events coming up, not just that one next month. So yeah, it was initially through Ryan Taylor, but then it went from there. Obviously, Deji's got a good team around him. He's got his management, he's got Liam, you know, he's got me, he's got his strength and conditioning coach, Leon, so he's got a good team around him. It was a shock for me when he told me. But you know what? I've just took it in my stride and just went with it and I'm taking it just like any other fight. But I'm also reminding him that, listen, it's an exhibition as well. So just the fact of being in the ring and sharing the ring with one of the greatest fighters that's ever lived, that's experience in itself.
How does Deji prepare then? Because like you say, it's an exhibition fight. But does he want to go in there and try and win, try and beat Floyd Mayweather? How do you train harder for this fight? How does it actually work in preparation?
You don't train harder, because I think every fighter shouldn't, you know, even if you're fighting someone that ain't great, you should take it serious when it comes to the trainer side of things. It's more about the game plan, you know. I don't want Deji to get hurt, obviously, so I need his defense to be on point. I need him to understand the game, but also want him to stamp his authority and make it a good fight, make it a show, because that's what people want to see. And for people to turn around and go, you know what? Deji held his own in there against one of the greatest of all time. Maybe tell Deji to give him a couple of low blows, an elbow here or there. Maybe land that one haymaker and just say, let's get out, and we're finished, we're done. No, but it's just about, you know, for me, it's about him getting experience, because when he fights those other YouTubers and they're standing across him in that ring, you know, he's gonna have in his mind that I fought one of the greatest that ever lived. Do you think any of you lot gonna bother me after this? You know what I mean? And from a Floyd point of view, he's fought all his life in America. He made MGM Grand his home. Yeah. And these exhibitions, he wants to reach people that he could never reach before globally, you know, and put on, you know, just some showcase fights. And Deji, what appealed to Floyd is that Deji is from, you know, his blood, you know, obviously he's African, Nigerian, you know, and I think eventually he wants to do fights in like Africa and stuff like that. So that's a little storyline behind it as well.
I've been asking a lot of boxers and MMA fighters about that for a while, whether they're going to fight in Africa, because a lot of the time it's down to the promoters and things like that. So Mayweather has the power. With what I just said in mind, obviously he did actually knock out his last opponent, Mayweather. So are you prepared to go in there and obviously, like you said, you might have to take some shots, but you're gonna go in there with full force as well?
I'm a competitor, so I want him to go in there and compete. But at the same time, you have to understand who you're in there against and be prepared for all the things that he does, you know, which is very hard to do because he's the best, one of the best to do it. Yeah. But I've studied Floyd my whole life, so it's easier said than done when you got someone in there facing him. But from the outside, I know all his triggers, I know all his moves, I know how he runs down the clock, I know how he can make it look like he's won a round, you know, with hardly throwing a punch within those 3 minutes. So Deji needs to manipulate the game as well, you know, play him at his own game. So I don't want to give too much away, but save it for fight night. But want him to stamp his own authority, be competitive, but be smart and intelligent and manipulative as well.
Okay, and King Kenny out in Texas as well next month?
Yeah. Crazy. He's fighting some guy called DK Money, some American YouTuber. Yeah.
That's interesting, the journey that it's taken you on from obviously doing work with Don Woody, an MMA fighter, but boxers a lot of the time to being in this influencer boxing world. Must have been a mad over a year now for you.
Well, I've been in boxing my whole life. I come from a family of boxers, so the knowledge has always been there with boxing, but obviously it gets better. The more you coach, the more you learn, the more you progress. Yeah. But my pro boxing license, I remember when I got it in 2017. Just the other day, I sat back and I was just thinking, wait a minute, 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's not a long time. And I was thinking, wait a minute, I've got undefeated pro fighters. I've taken YouTubers that, you know, are novices, one that has never boxed before in his life, making them look creditable, looking like professional fighters, you know, fighting Floyd Mayweather. We're going to Dubai, Texas, you know, LA, all these places, Vegas. So I was just thinking to myself that, wow, it's been a crazy journey in just a short space of time. But I'm someone that's passionate in what I do. Yeah. Serious about my craft. I'm motivated, dedicated. I want to be up there with some of the best coaches. When people talk about coaches, I want to be up there with some of the best. So I really truly believe in life. If you lock in to something that you're passionate about, then you can achieve anything. And I've had people try to, you know, you try to take your focus away from that. But I never listen to anyone, because this is me, this is who I am. So if you're passionate about something, you're dedicated, then you'll always rise to the top, man.
That's good to hear. And as for George Mitchell, it doesn't get any bigger than next month, obviously, on a Sky show, Boxer show. It's a breakthrough card with Adam Azim headlining, and he's managed to get on at 4-0, 1 knockout. Talk to us about George and his potential and this moment for him as well, on a big night for him.
Yeah, his potential is huge. Nobody's seen, people are only seen 20% of what he can do. So the fact that he's sitting at 4-0 and people have only seen 20% of what he can do, then yeah, people are in for some exciting times when they're watching him.
Yeah.
He can do it all. If he wants to fight, he can fight. If he wants to box, he can box, you know. He can stay in that long range, mid range, stay in the pocket. He's got good defense, good movement, good jab. So he can do it all. So people are in for a good time when watching him. He's a great fighter.
Who else have you got coming up?
Martin Foru, who's 7-0.
Yeah.
Super middleweight, dangerous fighter. He's another one. You don't need to motivate him. Very dedicated, passionate about his craft. And that's what I'm saying. I train people that I need them to match my ambition. Because being British champion is an achievement. I'm not saying it is. But I'm not in this game just to be British level coach or have British level fighters, you know. So I'm very selective of who I train.
Where does that ambition come from, Daley?
Just childhood, man. It's just been me growing up. Grew up in foster homes, lived on my own from a young age, so I had to grow up fast. So that mindset, that grit, that desire, and that heart of steel has transferred over to just what I do in the boxing world. You know what I mean? So that's really it, man. That's where it comes from.
Okay, well, I look forward to having some more good conversations with you in the build-up. Next month's going to be non-stop, so I'm not sure if we'll manage to get some more time.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man.
Thanks for having me down today, man. I appreciate it. Nice one.